Everyone, welcome back. It's been a few weeks since I have updated you all on our new adventure with our family cow. The last video I posted was when she had the calf unexpectedly, and that was a crazy day and a crazy weekend, and it's been crazy few weeks since then. Having a calf and a family cow is like having a newborn. And yes, it really is. I mean, obviously he's a newborn calf, but he's not my newborn. But it's like having a newborn baby in some senses, where I didn't sleep much. I worried constantly that I was doing something wrong. I read all the books, and yet I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. Um, my husband slept great, which as a mom, other fellow moms might understand what I mean there. But I was sore all over, head to my toes. I was sore. Mabel did wonderfully, and she adjusted very well, much better than I thought she would. Again, Mabel was never a family cow. She had never been milked before, so I expected her to, kick or whatever, not be too happy about milking. She was not very happy about being locked in the stanchion. We had done stanchion training, and I will do a video, hopefully, about how I got her trained to the stanchion, but we had never actually, the stanchion wasn't finished when she calved. So that evening, she calved on a Friday, and that evening my husband finished the stanchion. So apparently he just needed a little kick in the butt to get it done. But no, I'm really grateful for him finishing that for us. So we were able to milk right away the evening that she had him. Anyway, so she had not been used to being in a stanchion, and she didn't like necessarily being locked in there, or her head locked in there. You know what I mean? It's just so that she can't like go in and out of the stanchion, not like she can't move. And with we have like a gate, a swinging gate that holds her in so she can't move her body side to side. So I'm not trying to, like trying to reach for her, and while I'm milking. Anyway, so she wasn't too fond of that, but really it only took her a couple days to get used to it. She still kind of moves around, shifts around when she has to reach for her hay and whatnot, but for the most part, she's great. She really doesn't kick. Um, she's a wonderful cow. Really adjusted very well. And the calf is doing great. His name is Waffles, and he is so cute, and he is growing like a weed. I can't even believe how big he is. It's just crazy. So he's doing great too. So that's wonderful. However, not everything is going great. In fact, sorry, that was Lily just opened up that door. Oh, it gave me better lighting. Hey, thanks, Lily. I had it closed, so it was a little quieter in here. But, anyways, so we got some news that was not so wonderful. On, let's see, Wednesday, March 6th, when I milked, when I filtered out the milk, or actually, when I stripped the milk into the strip cup that I do, and one of the kids just closed the door. But, so don't mind the lighting going in and out. Anyways, when I stripped the milk into the strip cup, which is kind of like a first sign just to see if there's any clumping in the milk, there was some clumping in her rear left quarter. And now, that quarter has been giving us a little bit of trouble, but it was butterfat is what we thought the clumps were. Well, this time it seemed a little bit more. So I milked that out separately, and then when I brought it in the house, I strained it separately, and there was definitely considerably more clumping, and I just had a feeling that something was wrong. So that day, that was the morning milking. Again, that was on Wednesday, March 6th. And that day I had my husband pick up a CMT test, which is a California mastitis test. It is a test that you do right there when you're milking, and right before you milk, and it just tells if there's any if there's a high SCC or somatic cell count in the milk. And that just kind of, it doesn't tell you what kind of mastitis, but it tells you that there's a high cell count. You could have mastitis. There's other reasons for high cell count, but mainly it's mastitis. But there's like a ton of different kinds of mastitis. It's not just like one kind. Anyways, so we did that test that evening, and sure enough, that quarter came back high cell count. And so did the other rear quarter, which shocked me because there was no, I thought it seemed fine. So again, the only thing that alerted us that there might be an issue, might be off, was the clumping in the milk in the left quarter. And I'll show you a picture of what the filter looked like when I brought it in. And there was no blood, no pain. She never had an issue. There was no swelling or redness, or she never had a fever. There literally was nothing else except for this clumping. So we knew right away the best thing to do is to send the milk off to get tested, and then you know exactly what you're dealing with. It's expensive, relatively, but it's better than just throwing antibiotics at something that might not be the right antibiotic to treat what you're dealing with. And yes, we treat with antibiotics, or we knew we were going to treat with antibiotics because we are new to this, and we don't have the knowledge to trust ourselves to treat holistically, and we just feel like it's in the best interest of her and us for us to go the antibiotic route. Anyways, so let's see. I have to think back on how this was. So this was Wednesday, and right away I called. Okay, Wednesday night we found out the high SCC. So Thursday, I called right away in the morning. We have a lab really near us. It's one thing that's wonderful about living in the dairy state is that we do have these resources available to us. Some people have to send milk out to be tested out of state and whatnot. So I called our local lab, and they instructed me how to collect the sample, and that told me that I could have it tested right away, that they would be open, that day, and I could drop off. I feel like I have the days wrong. I really do, because I think that was a Tuesday. I don't know. It was a Tuesday, wasn't it? Do I have my days wrong? I might. See, it's like having a newborn. I don't know what day it is. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it was a Tuesday because we had piano lessons that day. So we must have caught the milk on a Monday. Yes. Ignore all the days that I said before this. This is how crazy my life is right now. Anyways, does it matter? Not really. Anyways, so they were going to be open on this Tuesday that I could drop it off. But again, we have piano lessons, so I picked the boys up from school and I take them to piano lessons. We were gonna have to rearrange things so that I could drop off the milk, and it worked out. My husband ended up, for some reason, it was fate. He got off work early that day and he was able to take it in. And luckily, we were able to get the test results back the next day. That's where the Wednesday comes in. That was a Wednesday. So that was Wednesday, March 6th, is when we found when we got the test back. Unfortunately, it was not good. The test came back the worst possible mastitis that we could have, and that is staph or aureus. I think I'm saying that right. Aureus, or if you're in the industry, it's staph A. And staph A bites the big one. It really does. It is a kick in the gut. I instantly just, couldn't even believe it. I was crushed. Just absolutely crushed. I don't know a whole ton about this, but I know staph A is bad. It's bad. So, I got this information. I had a doctor's appointment that day, a really important one, and I had to go to the doctor. So I literally was walking out the door and I got the email, and so I didn't have much time to process it. I went to my appointment, and unfortunately, I had to wait a very long time for my appointment, and that's when I kind of let it sink in. And so imagine me in the waiting room looking at my phone, like trying not to cry, and I probably looked like it probably wasn't very pretty, but I just absolutely broke down. I was so crushed that we just were feeling like we had getting the hang of this, and Mabel was doing great, and we thought we were doing things right, and now we are just slammed with the worst possible mastitis infection we could have. So I went right to a family cow forum on Facebook, the group, and asked advice, and a lot of people were like, get rid of her, don't even bother. And I'm just like, I can't. I love her. We, it's just, I just can't, give up on her. She's such a good cow. And anyways, so I called the vet. Actually, I called the vet on the way to my doctor appointment, and we talked about it. They deal with a lot with commercial dairies, and not so much with the small family cow. And so she was wonderful, and she's like, let me get back to you, and I'm going to research what we can do, because what you do with a large dairy versus a small family cow, it's going to be a lot different. Not necessarily, sort of treatment too, but it's just a different playing field. So she was so sweet, and she's like, let me call you back. And long story short, my appointment ended up going late, and I couldn't call her back after my appointment. So I called her the next day on a Thursday morning. We talked about our options, and we decided that we would treat her. Now, this was a hard decision because Staph A is very hard to treat. It shows up either clinical. Very rarely does it show up clinical, but most of the times it's subclinical. And what that means is clinical is the physical signs, like the bloody milk, the hot, swollen udder, pain, fever in the cow, all that, like the classic mastitis signs. Where subclinical is kind of like hidden, like it's there, but you might not visibly see it unless you do a SCC test, or what we did, the CMT California mastitis test. And the infection kind of hides. It hides in there. When you treat it, it hides until the treatment's done, and then it comes back out. So I read the report really quickly, and I did not read all the way to the bottom, because that's kind of how I am. I don't always do things thoroughly. And when I read to the bottom, I noticed that we had 1+ mark in both of those quarters. And that means it's a low count. Like there's Staph A in those quarters, but it's a low count of Staph A in those quarters. So that gave me a little hope. Like, okay, this isn't like a huge, full-blown, like, really bad, there's lots of mastitis in there. Maybe we have a chance. And I just, in my heart, I knew I would regret not trying. So we decided that we would try. And in order to do that, the vet had not seen our cow yet, so she had to come out, and we were able to arrange it. She came out that afternoon and looked her over, so she looks great. She's a healthy cow. The calf looks great. And again, she's wonderful. She was very understanding as to why we wanted to try, and she's hopeful that we're gonna do our best to try to treat her. And we decided to go with an 8-day treatment. So that's aggressive. That's as long as you can treat with this antibiotic, which is called Pursue. And ironically, or the other vet? I talked to 2 vets. The one vet went to school at one of the best veterinary schools for mastitis, something like that. And anyways, Pursue is the name of the antibiotic, and that's what they learned. They learned that that's the best one to try to treat Staph A. Again, it's really hard to treat, so we know that this is not guaranteed. A lot of mastitis, you treat it, and that's gone, and you move on. Staffy's not like that. There's a saying out there, once a staff cow, always a staff cow. We will always have to monitor her closely. Um, Luckily, the CMT test is not expensive and it's easy to do right next to her. You know, it's just really simple, and we'll just have to do that. But so we decided to do the 8-day treatment, and that consists of so I continue to do twice a day milking, and every night, by the way, we started dumping the rear quarters as soon as we got the high SCC test, the by the cow one, the CMT test. We started dumping that milk right away because we didn't know what it was. So then, and the front 2 quarters we tested all 4 quarters when we sent it into the lab, and the front 2 came back clear. The back 2 are the ones that came back with staph A. So what our treatment consists of is every night I empty her completely, empty all 4 quarters completely, and I inject antibiotic right into the back rear quarters. So each teat gets an injection in it. And yes, that sounds awful, and I feel so bad doing that to her. She hates it. She has figured out how to kick because of it, and Mike actually has to help me. He has to hold her tail up to try to help immobilize her so that kids are fighting over there, if you can hear it, or they're just arguing with each other. Anyways, so he has to help me do it. I can administer it, but I can't administer it while she's kicking me, so he has to help keep her calm and steady. So every night we treat her with that. So 1 in each quarter, and then you kind of like massage the quarter, try to get the antibiotic, throughout it. And then we take away Waffles, the calf, at night, so that he doesn't just go and suck the antibiotic right out. So he is, I really hope you can't hear that. They're fine. They just like to fight over toys. I put a movie in, but that only lasts for so long, and apparently I'm taking too long. So he is separated overnight, and for the first few nights, they weren't very happy, and we were a little bit nervous because he hadn't been separated before, and wondering how he was going to do, but they're great. They're doing fine. So then in the morning I go out there and I milk again, but I always milk her rear udders completely. Always empty them out. And then in the morning, I milk almost everything out of the front udders, the front quarters, the rear udders, rear quarters. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired. I hope you guys can understand. I do know what I'm talking about. Anyway, a little bit. So the front quarters, I don't totally milk them dry just because he's hungry in the morning. So I don't leave them full because I know he most likely can't drink 2 full quarters of milk. So I leave him some, and it's been going great. And then once that's done, then I put him back in there, and they go about their merry way and spend the whole day together. So that's 8 treatments, and we are on today's day 7. So we have today and tomorrow are our last 2 treatments. Thank the heavens. I'm so done with doing this. I feel bad for her. I hate doing it. She hates it. Yesterday, she kicked me good. And I don't blame her. I know it's not comfortable, and I kind of suck at it. Sometimes I get a little nervous, and she's like, "Just do it already." And that's what I think she does. Anyways, so we're on day 7. We have tonight's treatment, tomorrow's treatment, and then we have to wait 36 hours after that treatment in order to drink the milk, just to make sure everything's clear. And yes, we have been dumping all the milk from the morning after we started treatment. And then we will retest her, send another culture back in a week after that. So probably, I don't know what day. But that just gives enough time that we won't accidentally get a false negative. If there just was a little lingering something, antibiotic-wise, that might show a false negative. So after that, well, right now we're just praying that it comes back clear. So that's that. That's what we're dealing with. I'm trying not to think about what happens if it doesn't come back clear and what we'll do going forward, because that just breaks my heart like into a million pieces. So we have been Waffles has been doing good. There was a little concern that he might get a little bit of the antibiotic even after 12 hours, but he has been doing great. No scours, no nothing. We had saved all the milk, all the good milk that we could, just in case we had to bottle feed him, but we haven't had to, so we are able to drink it all. Again, up until that day, so we don't have very much left, but yeah, that's what's going on. It's not very good news, and like I said, I'm a lot heartbroken. And if y'all could just send some good vibes and prayers if you pray. I mean, it's kind of weird to be praying for a cow, but it just breaks my heart to think that this could be over. And yeah, just send us your good vibes, and I really, really, really hope that I will be able to have more great updates on Mabel, and I really want to do a video showing you how we milk. We also have upped our routine of cleaning her beforehand. There's a lot, it's kind of like beekeeping. There's a lot of advice on what to do, what not to do, and it's kind of like, I don't know, you have to adjust things to your own needs. So we have upped everything that we're doing. We didn't want to do any bleach or anything like that, but we are, because you know what? I'd rather use a little bleach in my wash solution than have a cow with Staph A. We also have added probiotics and apple cider vinegar to her daily feed, and we've taken away alfalfa. So that's it. That's what we're doing, and we are praying, and we're hoping that this is enough, and I will update you more when I find out. And yeah, so send us good vibes. Alright, well, thank you all for sticking it out. This is kind of long-winded. I don't know how not to be long-winded. Maybe someday I'll figure it out. But again, thank you for stopping by the homestead. I hope you stick around to see more of our videos, and I will see you later. Bye.